DeVonta Smith was wide receiver 10 last year, 95 receptions, 136 targets, 1,196 yards, 7 touchdowns, an average of 8.0 targets per game. Thoughts on DeVonta Smith?
Amazing route runner, first and foremost, right? He is an amazing route runner, is able to create separation, get in tight windows. Another guy who has yak capability, but he's a little bit smaller framed than AJ Brown is. But nevertheless, I think these numbers are very repeatable, right? I think he can get up to 1,200 yards again. They didn't really add anything else to the wide receiver room. So it is AJ Brown, DeVonta Smith, Dallas Goedert, right? Like those are the three downfield kind of guys. So I think you're looking at the same thing. Like he is a great second wide receiver. I mean, and depending on the format, you can run him as your first wide receiver and at least feel confident most weeks that because of how the Eagles run their offense, DeVonta Smith's going to get his. But nevertheless, he's either going to be an amazing second receiver or he's going to be a pretty damn solid first receiver on your fantasy roster.
He is the benefactor of AJ Brown on the other side, right? Defenses have to figure out what are we going to do? How are we going to try and limit AJ Brown? Are we going to try to limit AJ Brown or are we going to try to roll, the safeties towards DeVonta Smith? And then, keep in mind, last year, why this Eagles team was so dang effective was because they could run the football, right? Like they had the option through the air with AJ Brown and DeVonta Smith, and they could run the football with Miles Sanders. Like when you can do all three and you can attack from all three parts of the field. Where he's going though, I like that. He's going, end of the or middle of the third round. I think great value, great value pick that you can be very confident on your return at the end of the year.
So this really is kind of a 1A, 1B type of situation, right? Like both of these receivers are absolutely excellent wide receivers. DeVonta Smith actually had a more routes run participation than AJ Brown did last year. Like he was on the field running routes, like just a smooth operator out there. And when you really look at the target share between these two guys, it was almost a dead even split there as well, right? AJ Brown had 29%. DeVonta Smith was at 27%. So this is a guy that you can get a discount on in that middle of the third round type of deal, and a guy that has top 10 upside as well. So, again, this is a guy that when you're staring this one down and, depending upon how your roster construction's going, but this is a guy I wouldn't have any problem adding to my team